Well, living here is so much less expensive than in the U.S. From property taxes to most real estate to food, medical care, the prices are just so much lower here.
We, as a family, we lived on for a fraction of the cost that it would take to maintain our family in the New York City area. We would go out to dinner, and our family of 5, and eat until we were all stuffed and not even spend $20. And the year that we lived here, we were able to live cheaply enough to survive here that allowed him to have the time and the space and the lack of financial pressure to do something new, to reinvent himself and to launch at something and to take a financial risk.
As it's turned out, it is very much less expensive to live in Mexico.
Mexico was appealing because of that fact, and that was another reason that led us here.
And we were able to live here on one Social Security because Marty isn't old enough to have hers yet.
One of the factors was that we could live here at the same level, the same lifestyle that we lived in the States as a retiree.
But no, the cost of living here is really, really low. Even if you go to the nicest restaurant here, when I lived in Scottsdale, it would have cost 3 times more. For anything that I do here would easily be 3-4 times more back in Arizona.
It is less expensive living here. I would say probably a quarter to a half of the expenses of living in the States. The actual running of the house, the cost for utilities and day-to-day expenses is minimal. It's probably a quarter of what they were in the States.
The cost of living, as I mentioned earlier, it's right around half of what I spend in Virginia.
But for those who are living on a budget, you can certainly enjoy a beautiful aesthetic and a lovely quality of life on a shoestring like we did.
It's a better life here. If you are in New York, which we love, or people want to live in Paris or wherever, it's unaffordable. Being here, you have a lot of the positive things from all those places, and you are able to eat a lot out.
One reason we live here is because we can afford to live here.
Yeah.
The utilities in this town, like I said, my electric bill here in San Miguel is approximately $25 a month versus $2.50 in America. My water bill's $3 because I get a senior citizen discount, and where I came from, my water bill is about $35 or $40 a month. My car insurance down here is $260 a year versus about $1,200 in America.
When we did live in Los Frailes and we were on the grid, our bills were similar. The electric bills were similar to Florida. Remembering we don't have air conditioners here, the need for air conditioners. So it was somewhat similar. We were surprised that the cost of electricity is a little bit higher than we anticipated, but water is very inexpensive on the grid. It's very cheap, very cheap. Exactly. Your phone, your cable, similar to what it is in the States. Not really any different.
Yeah, I think we were paying upwards between $600 and $700 a month for all of our utilities in San Diego. Mm-hmm. And here, between our electric and our water, we pay...
And gas.
And gas. What, about 120 maybe?
But my electric bill averages between $5 and $7 US a month. And my water bill is approximately the same. And those are the two main utilities. With my Magic Jack, it costs me about $20 a year, and I have endless calls anytime to Canada and the US.
Also in America, my taxes on my farm was a little over $1,500. I bought a new house from Philip Hardcastle at San Miguel Realty, and my taxes are $112 a year. So this is where I need to be. I guess my expenses in San Miguel are about a third of what they were in America.
The last home we had was we sold it, what, for $490,000? And we were paying how much in taxes?
$300.
$300 US a year. We basically made the decision, one of the reasons we chose San Miguel was the money we saved by not paying any taxes, we can travel to Europe once a year.
Before we moved here, a friend of mine told me, yeah, you can go to Mexico and live like a king for $1,000 a month. You can live like a bohemian king, have a studio, plenty of art supplies, plenty of food, with a maid, with a gardener. Yeah! And I'm like, wow, that sounds interesting. You come here, it's the truth. You know, you have a lot of retirees here, yes, because in the States they were living with their retirement checks or what have you, at a lower quality of life than they can live here. So it is more inexpensive compared to the United States, to say the least.
Here, you don't need to be a millionaire to afford a studio and painting full time. We go to the market, and when I tell my mother that for 100 pesos I live for a week of fish and fruits and vegetables, she says, my darling, I pay 100 pesos for one fillet of fish. So it's a huge contrast with the so-called civilized world. And flowers, I love flowers. You can have a huge bouquet of flowers for 100 pesos. Here's a little one here, I don't know if you can see it, that costs 50 pesos.
An average doctor visit here is 300 pesos out of pocket, which is about $22 in today's exchange rate.
The cost of a taxi in San Miguel is 25 pesos, and today that would equate to approximately $2 US. And that is anywhere, you know, around the Centro area. And Centro, basically from one side of San Miguel to the other is 3 miles. So you are paying $2 for a 3-mile ride, where in the States you're paying $10 for a 2-mile ride. And tennis is relatively inexpensive here compared to the United States. We had lived in South Florida in a tennis community, played tennis all the time. I can hire a pro here to hit with me for basically, what was it, Joyce, $15, $18 an hour?
Yeah, an hour. Oh, actually, we were doing, both of us, we'd each take half a court for 200 pesos. We each had a pro.
Affordability in San Miguel, affordability in Mexico, and of course San Miguel. It's incredible. A friend of mine was talking to me about how she was thinking of heading back to Canada to further her career. And we started talking about the cost difference. And the amount of money that she was being offered was 3 times higher. And we worked out higher than what she makes here, because she also lives here in San Miguel. And we worked it out and worked the numbers and, you know, cost of living, groceries, a night out on the town, housing, everything that it takes to live, and earning a salary of 3 times more than what she makes here would actually send her backwards. It can't be done. So, I mean, it can be if you really want to be in Canada, where it gets really chilly.
Yeah, I mean, if you know, there's kind of a downside to providing a service in Mexico, just because you're expected to charge in pesos and U.S. rates are a lot higher. Yeah. However, if you're, you know, if you still have any income from the U.S. or wherever your homeland is, you can really stretch it out a long way here. I mean, that's for sure. The cost of living here is way lower than California or New York. That's
we
for
can
sure.
do almost anything we want if we saved in other ways, or, you know, we could join any class, or because we couldn't in the States. You'd have to really think about, you're always throwing out $100 here or $100 there at something.
Yeah, that's true.
And here, if we go out like for a night out, maybe $40. You know what I mean? In classes too, but again, like Alex was saying, if you provide a service, like I provide a service, I charge significantly less, but as does everybody else, and so that balances out our lifestyle. It's the exact same.
And people are open to trades here, which is great. Lots of service trading going on.
Yeah.
Lots of, you know, bartering.
Mm-hmm.